¿A dónde está papi? 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 ¿A dónde está papi?
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Tuesday. No, wait a minute. It is Wednesday. Welcome, everybody. I hope everyone's having an awesome Wednesday. Welcome, Michael Hassler, Derry Bennett. Hope everyone's doing okay. DNC night number 3. Yes, it is indeed. It seems to me like this one is going to be a bit of a snooze fest, I'm going to be honest. At least in my opinion. The speakers tonight don't seem as as good as the speakers yesterday. Last night, Bernard Sanders was speaking, and we were here on the Discord watching the roll call and the couple of speeches there. Waltz will be it. Yes, I keep calling him Waltz. I'm never gonna get that. I'm never gonna get that. But Walls will be it for tonight, I think. Yeah, Bernard Sanders. Bernard Sanders. Yes, Lil Jon was there too, introducing Georgia. Hey, Heat, how's it going? Much fun was had indeed. Michelle owned it. Yes. Yes. She was also a great speaker. And today, though, I don't know. Today seems today seems kind of like a snooze fest. Maybe for Tim Walls, but the roster here doesn't sound too appealing. In any case, I believe certain streamers are going to cover it. So if you want to tune into that, I'm sure there's plenty of streamers that are going to cover it. I will say though, like folks who are streamers, just be careful. You know, the copyright stuff is real. The copyright will nuke your channel out of orbit so quickly, folks. You won't even see it. So just be careful. I need to get a new little foamy for this thing. All right, before we get started, folks, the usual disclaimers. Thank you all for stopping by. I appreciate you guys hanging out. You guys are what makes this channel grow. Thank you for your support. Keep liking the stream. Keep subscribing. It really does help us out. Consider joining the Discord, folks. That's where it's at. Join the Discord. Not this Saturday, folks. Not this upcoming Saturday, but next Saturday, we will be having movie night. Movie night, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We will be doing Dune number 2. Hey, Bernardus, thank you. Welcome back, I should say. I missed everyone but Barack yesterday. Unfortunately, I did see some highlights at least. Gotcha. Join the Discord, folks. That's where it's at. Check out the merch store, folks. I don't know if you can see, but behind me I have the actual test sweater that I made. So I'm gonna probably make that one live. I'm gonna probably make that one live in the merch store soon. It came out pretty decent. I'll show more of it later at the end. Personally, I think everything's been coming out pretty great. I saw that Twitch is increasing their. I'm picking up my husband from work, and I'll be back later. No problem. That Twitch is increasing their sub prices to $8. Can you believe that? I didn't know that they were increasing prices like that. So the best way to support the channel, if you have Prime, you can do a free sub. You can gift subs, or you can do direct tips to your favorite streamer. Or check out the merch store, because man, that is just kind of absurd, in my personal opinion. Echo Rester Dragon, welcome. It's getting a little absurd there, or biddies. I think biddies are even better than subs at this point, because like man, not cool, in my opinion. Oh, shoot, I didn't even bring up all the articles. Look at me. Not being prepared. I thought I had everything going here, and I did not. Let me just throw everything out here. Let's see. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah, pro streamer moment, sorry. Alright, let's get started, folks. Dead vibes. Soup, indeed. Soup, indeed.
Here's Tim Pool. You'll recall that in the wake of the Frost Nixon interview, I'm sorry, the Musk Trump interview, that Trump said, like, I like you because you're going to go in and you know, people go on strike. You just come in and you fire them all. You tell them you fire them. And that's what I like about you, Musk. Now, it just so happens that as anemic as it can be at times, we do have a National Labor Relations Act. And it is illegal to threaten retaliation for people going on strike. And one of those ways, which is, you know, really explicitly retaliation, is firing somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And that threat does not have to be explicitly delivered to an individual. I don't have to say, like, you're on strike, buddy. I'm going to fire you if you do it. It is a blanket sense of, like, if you go on strike, I want my workers to know this, you're going to get fired now or in the future.
Right.
That's illegal. And so when they did this, or when they posted this interview or did it live or whatever it was, the UAW the next day decided to sue. And big-brained Tim Pool has an issue with that because he's for the working man.
Yeah. Wait, like this is so like hilarious to me because like you're claiming to be a person of the working class or support the working class, but you're mad that a union is taking action to defend workers. Like, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But I suppose that kind of upside down thinking makes sense in the Tim universe. Elon hates socialism and organized labor, but loves leveraging government tax funds to prop up 3 major corporations. Yep. Not the most insane thing I've seen today.
One reason to try Zaxby's new chicken finger tacos? We'll give you 2. Chipotle Ranch and Avocado BLT.
What?
Jeff Lynn's ELO. Over and out.
Auto Workers Union has filed complaints against Donald Trump and Elon Musk, alleging the two advocated for firing striking workers. So what? The former president and the owner.
Wait, stop. What do you mean, so what? You can't do that, bro. Okay? You can't implicitly or explicitly threaten retaliation for your legal rights to unionize and strike. Okay? Like, these are protected actions that you are entitled to. You can do these things. You can organize. You can organize and you can go on strike. Tim Pool isn't good for my blood pressure. Tim Pool isn't good for anybody's blood pressure, but, you know, he exists.
Of X held a conversation on Musk's platform.
Like I'll reiterate here, and maybe he'll get to it in this article. So what? That's illegal. It is a threat. And your National Labor Relations Act says you cannot do that. Go ahead.
But check this out. Let's read. They say the United Auto Workers Union has filed complaints against Donald Trump and Elon Musk, alleging the two advocated for firing striking workers. So what? The former president and the owner of X held a conversation on.
What an absolute clown. Send it to me, thinking Sabercat. Send it to me.
Musk's platform, this we know. At one point, Trump and Musk were talking about workers who go on strike for better wages. Trump said, if workers go on strike and you say that's okay, you're all gone, so everyone is gone. Under federal law, a company cannot fire its employees if they are on strike, but you don't got to pay them. So there you go. The unfair labor practices charged were filed.
He wasn't talking about not paying them. He was talking about he was boasting about firing them. That's what was happening. That's why they're that's why the UAW submitted their complaint. You have to study all parts of the media, even the ones that make us throw things. That's true. Particularly the ones that make us throw things, right? Because, like, people actually believe that this guy has any legitimate authority, and he's making good points. Like, people unironically believe that this beanie man, not me, the one on the screen over here, is actually making good, cognizant points. What is this image as? What's wrong with this image as a percentage of the vote? Don Jr. here posts on Threads. Legacy media's election interference. Harris coverage is 84% positive. Trump coverage 89% negative. I mean, he earned it, by the way. We have to study all parts of the media. Yes, Tim, in my opinion, is the biggest pseudo on the mainstream, right? He talks with all the authority, whole being dead wrong. Yeah, exactly. Like, this is the kind of stuff that, like, really irks me. Because, like, people genuinely, yeah, he earned it all. Every percentage of that. What irks me is that people genuinely believe that this guy's legit, and take their news and take their political opinions based on what this guy, based on what this guy says. While being wrong, right. Well, people don't like Trump, right? And the sources that he put were obviously, like, more liberal leaning media, so yeah. But being racist, stupid, and incompetent should garner me good coverage.
But the national.
Just in case you have the intelligence of Tim Pool, I'll explain to you. What he just said is a complete non sequitur. You cannot
give that advice to.
You cannot fire somebody who goes on strike. legally. You cannot threaten to fire somebody who goes on strike. That's true. When people go on strike, you don't have to pay them. But also, if you park somewhere illegally, you'll get a ticket. It has nothing to do with what you're talking about. I just wanted to make that clear. Go back a little bit.
A percentage is 100, not 178. No, the percentage I'm assuming what they're talking about is strictly how those networks cover Trump, and 89% of those articles that cover Trump are negative, while 84% of the articles that cover Harris are positive. That's the illustration that he wants to make, but like it makes absolutely no sense because like no duh, right? Like, of course. He's making it out to seem like the media is like trying to character assassinate Trump. Also, Tim's show is mainly right bias, but I'm sure to him that's okay. Yep.
Incidentally, I want to tell you what happened here. What happened in this moment is that Tim Pool never read this article before he read it on air. He did not know that it was illegal to fire someone when they go on strike. And when he read that, he realized, oh God, this entire angle I took is completely unsubstantiated and I should have read this article. And so he says, but you don't have to pay them, which has nothing to do with anything. So just go back a little bit. I want you to watch how Tim catches himself here.
I love it.
These are fun moments.
On strike for better wages. Trump said, if workers go on strike and you say that's okay, you're all gone, so everyone is gone. Under federal law, a company cannot fire its employees if they are on strike, but you don't got to pay them. So there you go.
There you go. What?
That's the thing, Lo. That's the thing, though. They were bragging about firing them, not about not paying them, which is the thinking Sabercat just pointed out. That's what the union dues are for. It's amazing. It's amazing watching this happen, watching the gears turn. He's done this before where he gets on a high horse about a headline without reading the article, opens the article and immediately notices he's wrong and then backpedals or deflects. Yeah. Classic beanie moment, okay? Cami Cassion, welcome.
Unfair labor practices charged were filed with the National Labor Relations Board. The UAW said Tuesday, just hours after the discussion, more than 1 million people tuned into the session. Quote, when we say Donald Trump is a scab, this is what we mean. When we say Trump stands against everything our union stands for, this is what we mean, said UAW President Shawn Fain in a news release. Musk himself has been outspoken against unions, criticizing them for creating inequality among employees.
It's kind of
Tesla,
keep reading,
which is also owned by Musk, is the only auto manufacturer in the U.S. whose workers are not unionized. Bravo, Tesla. Shout out to the workers manufacturer among employees.
A little bit. We need to hear what he says about Tesla here.
Himself has been outspoken against unions, criticizing them for creating inequality among employees. Tesla, which is also owned by Musk, is the only auto manufacturer in the U.S. whose workers are not unionized. Bravo, Tesla. Shout out to the
Amazing.
workers. While multiple
Wait, shout out to the workers. Wait. Question mark? Shout out to the workers. Does he know why they're not unionized? Does he know why they're the only they're the only automobile manufacturer that aren't unionized? Like, that's what the whole exchange about bragging about firing everybody was about. That he was bemoaning at the idea that the UAW would launch a lawsuit against them. Remember when some kids at the skate park said some slick ish to Tim, and so he bought the skate park as a flex? Now imagine what he thinks of his own employees. Yep.
The idea,
shout out to the workers.
Yeah, like that's the workers' decision. The bosses have been trying to do it. No, Tesla very regularly kills employees. Sometimes those are independent contractors, and it is not it's not a shout out to the workers scenario that they're not getting water breaks or whatever.
But
It's not, incidentally, he may not know this, but the workers at all these other car plants, They decided they wanted a union. That's why the
Also
union is
workers.
there. Yes.
Yes, but shout out to the special Tesla workers, the ones that remain who weren't fired for attempting to unionize. So this is the guy that's pro-worker. He's claiming, right? Shout out to the workers who were still around after,
Yeah.
if they didn't get fired by Elon Musk because they tried to make the decision to unionize. How is that a shout out to the workers? It's to the shout out to the people who remained
Just unbelievable.
after Elon Musk. You know what? I'm going to make a prediction that Elon Musk is on Timcast in the next 2 or 3 months.
Very possibly.
Please welcome President Ronald
Please
Reagan.
welcome
who
a
has a few
president
questions for you.
that's not alive at this time.
Alright, hey guys, I am here in Germany at the G20 and I am with Tim Pool.
Hello.
Welcome. Tim,
Wait, he actually did a stream with Lauren Southern? Whew. It's just them vibing? Wow.
And I know we disagree politically, but I don't want to be seen with you because, people might think I believe you or something. Like, no, that's ridiculous.
Well, now you can barely be seen with me because you might be beat up. And unfortunately, things didn't go so well for everyone else with us.
Yeah, they got beat up.
Yeah, they did get beat up. I didn't come here with these people. I came on my own plane, and it was like other journalists are here, and it's like, cool, let's work together, let's stay together. Oh, not even that. I'm standing beside.
Yeah, other journalists. Like Tim Pool?
Anarchists started defending me. So there was like a couple anarchist accounts that started responding to these posts calling me a fascist, and they were like, whoa, you got to delete that. That's bullshit. Like, Tim Pool is not a fascist.
Well, you're screwed.
Oh, this is when Tim was inventing that Antifa was hunting these two? Amazing.
Now because you did a video with me, so you're done.
No,
for.
you know what, man? I will absolutely defend to the death my right to freely associate with people
With Nazis. Got it. All right, cool. Thank you, Tim.
Bravo, Tesla. Shout out to the workers. While multiple efforts to unionize employees at the company have been made, none have been successful. However, the company has been sued for implementing company policies that prevent workers from unionizing.
You hadn't read this story.
In filing complaint with Musk and Trump, UAW leadership is escalating its criticism of both men. President Fain has publicly criticized both in recent appearances, including at a Democratic rally attended by Kamala Harris and Tim Walz last week. Let me tell you my thoughts. We have
Please
this
Please do.
press release here.
Let me tell you my thoughts. Oh, man. No. I'm afraid we're not going to get much out of those. We're not going to get much mileage out of those, Mr. Poole.
Which we'll read from UAW directly. Filing labor charges against Donald Trump and Elon Musk for attempting to.
Yeah, we can skip a little bit. He does go into why he doesn't think why he thinks unions aren't good, and it's because he worked at he was underpaid at one job, and then and so like why would you want to pay, if you're an underpaid grocery store worker, why would you want to pay a union fee? And that's partly because they could collectively bargain, and the other was like they focus on stupid stuff. But he gets back into it here, and we can just watch a little bit more.
All right, that's my personal. I'm not a fan of how these unions operate.
Yeah, we know.
That being said, I actually don't care. Trump saying to fire them if they're on strike, I think you don't need to do that. I think it's
pause it for a second. Well, because when he started the video and he started to read the thing, he didn't know it was against the law.
Right. And now, man, and people buy this. That's what's wild about this. Like, it's actually amazing how in the same freaking segment, you could say, so what to something very obviously illegal that you can't do to, you shouldn't have done that. Okay.
Yep.
And so he now has to backtrack, and you see the way that he did it. Well, you don't have to pay them. What difference does it make? Actually, I don't think you need to say that.
They don't even want a union anyway because unions don't work, but they shouldn't be stopped from it.
I mean, there's two things that this video shows. One is that Tim Pool is actually an anti-worker.
Yeah.
But the other is that the dude doesn't even freaking read the stuff that he starts on. He has no idea
Anything.
what he's talking
Absolutely
about.
not.
No idea what he's talking about. And the only thing that he is skilled at is the ability to sort of like step back off of where he just knows exactly what the keywords are for the video that he's going to put up for his audience. He knows where he will cross the line with his audience. He did the same thing when he was like, almost like dabbling with supporting RFK. And then all of a sudden, like, Joe Rogan backed off. And so he backed off. This is when people say grifters, this is what they mean. And he knows, this is the way that he makes his money. And it's gross. He's an idiot. And it's also funny to watch him turn himself into a pretzel because he didn't know some of the basic facts of what he's talking
Well, he doesn't know facts about politics. This is the problem when his show is just like focused on reacting to social.
Right. And then it's put forth, and it's put forth as actual, like, legitimate political commentary. That's the problem, right? Like, jokes aside, because, it is a moral imperative to dunk on Tim Pool at every opportunity possible. It's wild that people genuinely believe this, and it's quite frankly detrimental. Welcome, Cognizant. Beanie Turd is the smartest person in his subscriber base. Lauren tried to carry this on and made some crazy claims at the Trump inauguration, and Thunderfoot basically destroyed its why she jumped to doing documentaries instead of the Blaze reporting that, and she found the staff, especially McGinnis, kind of, that tracks, thinking Sabercat. Honestly, that tracks, Really, people should send his video to the Teamsters as I think he'd apologize very quickly when he gets no deliveries at his compound.
Social media, and his algorithm is geared towards like, where are black people fighting in this part of the country, or what is this homeless encampment? Let's do a deep dive into that. He's close with Elon Musk, by the way, because that post-millennial thing, Elon's always retweeting those guys. Those are associated with Tim Pool. That's when Elon said it was disturbing after Pool alleged that I was a pedophile, falsely, with no evidence. And like, let's also just, I remember just how he didn't even basically understand.
Yes. The bastion of journalism, that is the post-millennial.
That the United States, before, this was in the summer of 2023, he seemingly had no understanding of what U.S. policy was as it related to Israel. Like, he didn't,
or he knew he should stay away from it.
Well,
exactly.
I caught him he said he's like, I don't know enough about it to say, because he's anti-war, if we should fund Israel. He had very strong opinions about funding Ukraine, but not the top recipient of our military aid. And he doesn't know that that union busting is illegal. Either way, he's either willfully ignorant or misleading his audience, or he just doesn't know basic facts about U.S. politics.
That's not an or situation. It can be an and.
Yeah, exactly. I think Sam's correct here. And that's, again, a huge problem when millions of people watch these videos.
Situation.
Tim Pool knows two facts. Elon Musk is daddy and Donald Trump is daddy, and all of his program will cohere to those two facts.
Alpha males, that's how they
high value males.
High value males. That's right. We're abandoning the whole alpha male nonsense. Now it's high value male. Hey, how's that going for Andrew Tate, by the way? How's that going for Andrew Tate, by the way? Can we get a quick follow up on what's going on here? Oh. Oof. Yikes. Pedocon theory, folks. Hasn't missed yet. Is this another raid? Yep, just happened. Just happened. Updated today. It's quite ironic that Musk's oddest obsession is former Nazi, former male feminist, former game journalist, from website owner Andy Warski is very sleazy. Oh yeah, Ian Miles Chong, guy who literally tried to murder his business partner with a swatting incident, being so think Canadian police are the same as Americans. Well, it's Elon Musk, you know. What can I say? Welcome to Simulacra.
Value men, that's how they lead from behind. Tim Pool, that's what he does.
Ah. Not today, Sam. All right, let's do this one.
Well, who could have possibly predicted this, except for the entirety of the left, as there is some stunning new data out showcasing that Tim Walz may have the ability to help Kamala Harris to a greater degree than the mainstream thinking originally thought. So I'm going to get to that stunning data in a bit here. I'm also going to get to comments from Barack Obama at the DNC last night, where he briefly discussed Tim Walz, as that was a fun clip. But first here, so before I get to the Tim Walz portion of this, this is from Focal Data. This is their polling between Harris and Trump. So it's from the same poll, the Walz data that I'll get to later. But here they have Harris and Trump, both head-to-head or in a five-way race. I gotta say, I don't really know the point of these head-to-head races unless third-party candidates aren't on the ballot. If they're going to be on the ballot, why even cut them up like this? Like, it should be the five-way race in every poll, or it should be whoever's going to be on the ballot in that state should be in the poll. That makes the most sense to me. So the head-to-head stuff really just shows you, I guess, where some of the support's being pulled from. So when it comes to Arizona, for example, so Harris is leading in 5 out of 7 swing states. She's losing in Arizona in both the head-to-head and the five-way. But you see here, Kennedy is polling at least about a point more from Trump in the five-way compared to the head-to-head. So in the five-way, Harris is only down by a point compared to Trump, and the head-to-head down by a few points. So again, just going to what I discussed in a previous video, where Kennedy is appearing to pull more, at least a bit more, from Donald Trump. But so Harris is losing in Arizona and Georgia in this poll, in both scenarios, but winning in Michigan, Nevada, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. This would win her the election. So good news so far. So the Georgia numbers I'm kind of surprised by, because even when we get to the favorables, they just seem really out of whack compared to the other states. But let's move on to that. So let's start with Donald Trump's net favorables. So again, same data, or same polling outlet Focal Data here. Georgia, he is +6, which again seems like is an outlier here. Arizona -5, Pennsylvania -8, North Carolina -9, Nevada -10. There are 2 Nevadas. One of these are Wisconsin, so it's either the -11 or the -10. And Michigan here, -13. Compared that to Kamala Harris, where she's only down in Georgia. So Trump down across the board except for Georgia. Harris only down in Georgia. Everywhere else, she is Michigan +7, Nevada +3, Pennsylvania +2, Wisconsin +1, Arizona even, North Carolina even, which is a good place to be. Again, this shows potential for growth in these swing states. Georgia, again, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, Georgia is in play, in my opinion, at this point. Yeah, I reposted it.
What's going on with Georgia here? It feels bizarre to me that it would be this much of an outlier, but there it is. Now, let's take a look at the VPs. Starting with J.D. Vance, who, again, +7 in Georgia is so weird, but there you go, +7 in Georgia. Pennsylvania -3, Arizona -5, North Carolina -5, Wisconsin -10, Nevada -11, Michigan -14. Let's compare this to Tim Walz, which by far has the most stunning results here. Look at this. Michigan +14, Arizona +9, Wisconsin +9, Nevada +7, Georgia +5, North Carolina +4, Pennsylvania +4. Nothing below a +4 on this list. Tim Walz currently is the most popular person, or I should say the most favorable person on any of these on these tickets. Now, it's normal for, a national figure like Kamala Harris.
That's pretty freaking amazing. Yeah, no doubt about it. Thinking Sabercat. That's the reason why Andrew Tate is in some hot water, and I hope he gets justice, because this dude's been doing that for quite a while, and it's so sad that people actually looked up to him.
To have more negatives, because that's just how politics works. But for Tim Walz to be doing this well, especially in the states that matter, shows you that he has the ability to help Kamala Harris in these incredibly important states. My guess for why he's maybe at a +4 in Pennsylvania compared to, or I should say, I think he's a...
Yeah, it is very clear that Tim Walz was the choice. No doubt about it. And so much so that he actually might provide some boost for Kamala.
+4, because Josh Shapiro is probably who a lot of Pennsylvanians wanted to be Kamala Harris's VP. But still, +4 when you got snubbed, still pretty good. Now, I want to show you some.
I was robbed. They tried to run me over with a getaway car. He almost killed me right over.
Jesus.
Some comments here from Barack Obama during his speech last night.
She'll work on behalf of every American. That's who Kamala is. And in the White House, she will have an outstanding partner in Governor Tim Walz. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I love this guy. Tim is the kind of person who should be in politics. Born in a small town, served his country, taught kids, coached football, took care of his neighbors.
Literally an entire career of public service.
He knows who he is, and he knows what's important. You can tell those flannel shirts he wears don't come from some political consultant. They come from his closet, and they have been through some stuff.
This goes to one of Tim Walz's biggest advantages over not just J.D. Vance, but other politicians at the national level generally. His authenticity. Tim Walz is the real deal. And it is incredibly tough to find someone like this at the national level.
That Obama unaged looking good. That's just Obama.
Most politicians that have to get to the kind of level that Tim Walz is at as a VP pick, you have to sell out. Generally, that's how things have worked for a long time. But Tim Walz has not. He's a guy who has spent most.
I will say, I'm kind of disappointed that Obama didn't wear the tan suit. I'm kind of disappointed that Obama didn't wear the tan suit.
Most of his life in a different career, is a veteran, was a high school teacher, then got into Congress, and has been doing that since 2006. Yet, check this out. If you're not aware of this to me is maybe the most impressive thing about Tim Walz, and really shows you how real this man is. According to Fortune, Tim Walz's net worth is less than the average Americans. Together with his wife Gwen, his net worth is $330,000 per the Wall Street Journal. This shows you his focus in life has not been acquiring wealth. His focus has been service. Do you understand how incredibly rare it is for someone like this to, first of all, be in Congress just generally, but to also get picked to be on a presidential ticket? This is wild. You will never, it is very unlikely that you will have the opportunity to vote for someone like this on a ticket, on a presidential ticket ever again. Because it just doesn't happen. Someone like this just does not get to the kind of power that Tim Walz is getting close to.
That's very true. The most stressful thing he does these days is put out song playlists and cash Netflix checks. True. The most bizarre is Shapiro. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I remember this was discourse for like a whole week. And yeah, they've got nothing thinking Sabercat. They've got nothing on Tim Walz.
So, like, this goes to, again, how the reason why authenticity matters is because this is somebody who is actually able to relate to the problems of everyday people. Someone who has spent his life in service interacting as a high school teacher, as a congressperson, as a governor with real people. And this also goes together, you know, with his, as I've covered in the past in other videos, the massive agenda that he passed with a 1-seat majority in Minnesota as governor. Things that actually help people.
A 1-seat majority. So I don't want to freaking hear it, man. Because like if they really, you know, if they really want to do stuff, they can. And Tim Walz wanted to do stuff, and he did.
Like, this is, I am just so incredibly impressed that not only is Tim Walz exist as a person, as a member of Washington, but that he was actually picked by Kamala Harris. I think this is the best thing she has done so far, because it signifies that Kamala Harris is not picking, you know, is not choosing her priorities based on, I should be clear, not simply based on whatever, you know, powers are around in the Democratic Party in terms of moneyed powers, but she has an agenda that she actually wants to pass. Because why else would you pick someone like Tim Walz?
Are we Walz fangirling? I'm in. Yeah, Walz. I'm actually pretty hyped. The more I learn about this guy, yeah, I'm pretty Walz. I'm pretty Walzed up.
She wants a connection to real people. Tim Walz has that connection that no other VP choice would have had, at least in the same way. So it's massive. And you have even Fox News here having to admit that Walz is more popular than JD Vance. So their headline here, Walz unknown by 4 in 10 Americans, but favorability rating tops Vance. So approximately 4 in 10 U.S. adults don't know enough about Walz to form an opinion, compared to 3 in 10 for Vance. Now, the headline doesn't even give you the full picture here. So this is the Associated Press NORC Center for Public Affairs research poll. So Walz is currently enjoying a higher level of support among U.S. adults, maintaining a 36% favorability rating compared to Vance's 27%. This is compounded by Vance's higher unfavorability rating among those polled, with 44% holding an unfavorable view compared to Walz at 25%. This means Walz is a plus 11 overall compared to Vance, who's a minus 17 overall, which is a spread of almost 30 points.
Nice.
Now, it's impossible to really know the impact that a VP choice has on a ticket, but if there's going to be an impact, it's going to be in this sort of matchup where it is,
and it's positive. I mean, like, generally speaking, that's true. Like, generally speaking, VP picks don't really move the needle that much, but I think this one's a little different. Both Vance being the VP drags Trump down, and Walz being the VP kind of helps boost Kamala Harris. It's kind of like it's generally it doesn't really matter. Nobody really pays attention, but I think this one's a little different.
The two are just so far apart in terms of favorability, where Walz is clearly more liked than JD Vance is. So, in a scenario like this, I actually do think the pick can have an impact, especially when you bring in how popular Walz appears to be in swing states. Now, I want to share this clip. This was from the rally in in Milwaukee last night. Oh yeah, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. While the DNC was going on. So DNC happening in Chicago, this happening in Milwaukee. This rally was held at the same stadium or the same arena that the RNC was held at. Yet it appears that the crowd may be bigger at this rally compared to the RNC. Now, I don't care about comparing crowd sizes too much. I don't think it means a whole lot really in the grand scheme of things, but some people do care about that, so you can imagine Trump won't be happy about this. But here's some comments from Tim Walz.
And J.D. Vance, he writes the foreword for the architect of the Project 2025. Look, you can find joy in the world everywhere. Here's where I find my joy. On October 1st, we're going to have a little talk, he and I, on the same stage. So... Yeah.
Whoa. Man, I'm actually looking forward to that. The Stockwell thing just shows there's no bottom. As I remember, Michelle Obama vegetable garden being communist indoctrination was crazy, but now Michael Knowles is pushing. Oh yeah, they're all doing it. It's all the same. The Daily Wire, all these fascist. Yeah, it's all the same.
I'm so looking forward to this debate. Look, the Kamala Harris Trump debate, I'm also, of course, looking forward to because I'm a political weirdo. I like watching this stuff. I find
true. Knowles always does push the crazy, doesn't he? Yeah.
Interesting. I'm sure that'll be fun, but you kind of know what to expect. Like Trump's going to be ridiculous and an idiot and lie the entire time. Kamala Harris, I think, will do a pretty good job. Who knows? Kamala Harris was great in that primary debate in 2020 against Joe Biden, and then didn't really show up the next few debates. But when it comes to a one-on-one, I think this is kind of where Kamala Harris shines. I think she'll do great against Donald Trump. But when it comes to Tim Walz, JD Vance, I just don't like. I don't really know what to expect. I kind of know what to expect in terms of I think Walz is going to do a lot better. But just in terms of the interaction between these two, JD Vance is so incredibly inauthentic while attempting to have this working class appeal that Walz actually has. So
right, and that's going to be super jarring and hopefully very obvious when these two speak.
The phoniness of JD Vance, I think, is going to come out. Is going to become even more apparent.
Yeah,
when he's sitting next.
Exactly.
Next to Tim Walz. That's my guess, but again, I don't know. It's we don't really know exactly what to expect because we haven't seen these two. At least I haven't seen these two in debates. I know JD Vance. There were some debates when he was running for Senate, and he's very boring. So he's very boring, very standard politician, very fake. And when you have a guy like that next to Tim Walz, I just think it's going to make you look even worse. So this just on that rally. So Harris holds a rally at Milwaukee Arena where Trump accepted the Republican nomination.
Shady Vance. I like that one. I just hope Walz doesn't rely on his sound bites that he speaks in the moment. The JD Vance versus Walz is the one I can't wait to see, as the awkwardness of the really weird Vance trying to smile while shitting his pants. No, I think he'll do fine. SV Harkin.
RNC. So just like I said, this is the crowd there. So the Harris campaign says more than 15,000 people showed up to the Harris Walls rally in Milwaukee. Just a massive and excited crowd there. I don't have clear numbers on the RNC. That I think they were saying they had said that 20,000 people were attending. I don't know if that means they were actually in the seats during the speeches at the RNC. But if you go back and look at some of those images, they don't look full. And the way the stage is set up is different as well. So this just appears to have more of an ability for people to sit. But I don't know. Regardless, who cares? Whatever, crowd size. It's just, this is the kind of thing that gets under Trump's skin.
True. Now the real scandal, okay?
The president came out addressing reporters on Thursday, and he was wearing this tan suit.
President Obama's decision to wear a light tan suit at yesterday's news conference. He was wearing a tan suit.
Light tan suit. I think it was shocking to a lot of people. Is this an effort to make him look warmer?
There's no way I think any of us can excuse what the president did yesterday. I mean, and then for him to walk out, I'm not trying to be trivial here, but in a light suit, light tan suit.
Also known as Tangate.
Tan suit, and how the tan suit made him look unpresidential.
Whoever talked him into going into a tan suit, they're so desperate because of these low poll numbers, they're willing to do anything.
The tan suit made him look unpresidential.
Tan suit versus orange tanner. Yeah, ask him if IVF is okay. What is the dolphin thing? I don't want to know. I'm good on that. I don't want to know the dolphin thing. Which is more unprecedented. I have to say, definitely the tan suit takes the cake.
This is probably one of the top 5 food scandals of the 21st century, and we can't underplay it. People need to go to jail. People need to go to jail for this.
Hold on. Let's start at the beginning. Right here, tucked away in a nondescript office building, right across from a doctor's office, lies the heart of what could be one of the most significant conspiracies in American business history. It's home to AgriStats, a data company that built a network used by the nation's largest meat companies. And inside that network, America's meat barons share secret data. It's alleged that AgriStats organizes and then launders that information across the industry. Companies weaponize it, restricting output, manipulating the market. Ultimately,
That's right. Ding, ding, ding. SV Harkin. You see the Trump interview with the UFC guy where he pretended to not know what cocaine felt like? This is the Trump guy. This is Trump. The guy would go to Studio 54 in 1980 and had most of Colombia up his nose in the early 2000s. Yeah, I don't doubt it. Walls is speaking tonight at the DNC. Yeah, probably like, personally, that's the one speech that I would listen to be honest.
Raising your prices. All for profit. This video is about that scheme. How something as mundane as data reshaped the American food landscape, siphoning billions from consumers. And how the Biden administration and 4 attorneys general are finally fighting back.
We're at the state capital of Minnesota, where Attorney General Keith Ellison has his offices. He's leading the lawsuit against AgriStats. Attorney General Ellison, thanks for joining us today.
Really good to be with you. Thank you.
What does this complaint allege?
It alleges that under the Sherman Act, you can't share critical information that would have a tendency to reduce competitiveness and competition.
Right, because that causes market failures. What would you hope to get out of a wall speech? Hopefully a very strong working class message, because like that's probably the best like strong suit. His best strong suit is to have a strong working class message and nudge the needle a little bit more in that direction. More labor protections. More support for unions. Talk about unions. Taxing the rich. Providing crucial government services to people, like what he did in his state. For example, the free lunch. His word's weird for them and neighbors for the rest of us. It really works. Yeah.
They're essentially sharing information in a way that violates Section 1 of the Sherman Act, which prohibits things like conspiracies, collaboration, collusion, things like that.
AgriStats is the heartbeat of the meat industry. It tracks everything: product prices, the cost to raise an animal, worker wages, and market projections. This info is then turned into reports bought by companies that effectively control all of the chicken, turkey, and pork markets. Tyson, Hormel, and Cargill, they use these insights to raise prices and limit supply.
Yep. I put a short but very funny video about stupidity of crypto bros. All right, well, we'll take a look at it after.
Bring up cost for everyone else, but profits for the industry, they go up.
You get information that'll allow you to figure out how to maximize your profit without having to take any chances. Last time I heard, capitalism and free markets were all about risk-taking, right? This is a risk-free endeavor.
Almost like that was all like kind of like a lie, because like capitalism isn't interested in any of that. Capitalism isn't interested in any of that. Capitalism isn't interested in free markets. Really? Not really. Capitalism isn't interested in competition. Not really. Capitalism isn't even interested in innovation. None of that. These are just kind of tangential. The only reason capitalism would say would be interested in, say, like innovation or anything like that is for profit, right? Because they're going to make a profit out of it. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what the numbers look like at the end of the quarter. Monopoly price fixing, which is the ultimate goal, right? If you're a capitalist. We've been asleep so long, too long. Who knows what else they've been doing with our food? Oh man, best not to deep dive too much into that. The American meat industry, no one in the U.S. is interested in the products, and few attempts to get in the UK market has been rejected. Yeah.
Because you know what your competitors paying for labor inputs, how many chicks they got, because you have the report right in front of you.
So those are the allegations, and admittedly, the whole thing is kind of boring. It's data. How bad can it be? To find out, we talked to someone who would know. He's Earl Schweizer, a former vice president of Whole Foods who helped lead the firm's rise.
This is a de facto cartel. I mean, this is a racket.
Here's how it worked.
So for each item in the grocery store, whether it be chicken thighs or chicken wings, AgriStats, they create a report.
The report outlines the price the company charged, the national average of what its competitors charged, and the top quartile.
In fact, it goes deeper than that.
It tells meat processors where their price ranks nationally, then the gap between what they're charging and the national average, and the gap between that and the top 25%.
But I think most importantly, you can actually see the economic impact dollars.
Or how much money the company is leaving behind.
The way the data was set up was an incentive for them to raise prices. Like, you have to catch up to the market here. Why are you underselling? You're making us all look bad.
Right. That's so messed up. Yeah, Trump defunded the food part of the FDA. Food safety sucks right now.
all these suppliers knew what they were each selling and what they were selling for, it's really just a matter of determining what they wanted to be selling it for.
It's important to note that the reports that AgriStats produces, they aren't your typical grocery data. The industry calls that syndicated data.
So syndicated data is like a really good test preparation service. It helps you see what trends are. You're getting boiled down top line reports. AgriStats is just an open book test. It's like you're just essentially giving them the answers. It's night and day. They stole money from the public and they took food off people's tables.
Just 20 miles from here, Cargill was leveraging AgriStats data. In 2013, they charged slightly less than the AgriStats average for turkey. When they found out, they started charging more. By 2016, they had surged above it. It's alleged that AgriStats didn't just provide the information, they actively helped their subscribers interpret it. According to discovered emails, in 2016, AgriStats consultants told Cargill that at Walmart it was charging 20 cents more for ground turkey than its primary competitor, but could presumably charge more because it was 11 cents less than another. At one big distributor, the same consultant told Cargill they were 45 cents cheaper than two rivals. Cargill even had a presentation showing the goal of the whole thing, boosting industry-wide prices.
Right.
JBS did the same thing. AgriStats reports showed they were charging...
I don't doubt it. Thinking Sabercat, our food standards, not great.
Less than their competitors for pork.
They're not great, not good.
What do? They hike up prices on at least 10 products. Everyone followed suit. The outcome? Pork profit margins soared 50% across the industry. There's more. Tyson, Sanderson Farms, Hormel. Think of a meat company. They're probably one of the 40 listed as a co-conspirator. Coincidentally, AgriStats paused selling turkey and pork reports in late 2019. Why? Well, they were faced with private antitrust litigation.
This is among the most widespread scandals in not only food pricing, but food availability that I've actually ever heard of. The reason why I say this is these price increases force consumers to buy less food because they couldn't afford the same amount of calories that they had before these increases came through. This is a food access scandal and this is a food apartheid scandal.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, well, highly processed stuff is not good. Not great.
AgriStats claims it merely provides anonymized benchmarking data, and the company ignored our request for an interview. But the defense seems to fall apart. Not only evidence like that previous email, but meat companies have boasted that AgriStats reports can identify their competitors with 100% certainty. So what's next? Honestly, it's not clear. We're in uncharted waters. Regulators ignored antitrust laws for a generation, and technology, it advanced rapidly.
You know, a lot of the practices now, either in packaged food CPG, probably wouldn't be legal if they actually enforced and updated antitrust laws.
And now we're left with the consequences.
I think that this monopoly problem, this market concentration problem is driving inflation.
Yeah.
The goal of the lawsuit is to have fair competitive pricing. It's lower grocery prices. It's grocery prices that people can afford. That's the goal.
But again, it's tricky. Last year, a federal judge ruled in favor of meat companies and AgriStats in a civil antitrust case. He wrote, "Just because AgriStats provided a convenient forum to transmit the information did not mean that AgriStats itself joined the conspiracy." So what's different with this one?
Well, the facts are different. Here in Minnesota, the court has already found that there is a cognizable legal interest. There is a claim to be made.
It's hopeful, but it's also not guaranteed. Most of our antitrust laws were written before mass electricity, let alone streamlined information sharing. In fact, most laws were passed before the Monopoly Man even made his debut.
Jeez.
So, are existing antitrust laws enough to handle this? Or do we need additional regulations?
The answer is yes, they are enough to handle this.
But also, yes, we do need more regulations.
And the answer is we also need to do some updating. But the Sherman Act, passed in 1890, is enough to stop AgriStats from this illegal information sharing that it's doing.
But this case could be a start. After 40 years in the wilderness, the Biden and Harris administration and AGs like Ellison have reinvigorated antitrust enforcement. The attorneys general of DC and Arizona are fighting alleged collusion in the rental market. The DOJ has active suits against alleged monopolies Ticketmaster, Apple, Google. All this is happening just 6 years after federal enforcement was at a generational low.
I want to get the trial on this fast because I believe we got a great case, and I believe that what we're fighting for is a fair economy so that all Americans can aspire to prosperity.
Thanks for watching.
Well, I've got news for you. That is antithetical to what capitalism believes. Unfortunately for us. All right, folks, we got to get through some of these headlines. I think we should probably start. We'll start here. That's fine. Trump says he would consider Elon Musk for a cabinet role. Man. Former President Trump said on Monday that he would consider Tesla CEO Elon Musk for a job in his cabinet if he wins the November election. Hadn't he already been snubbed by Elon? Probably forgot. Yeah, he probably forgot when Elon started throwing his support behind him. Quote, he's a very smart guy. I certainly would if he would do it. I certainly would. He's a brilliant guy. Trump told Reuters in an interview. In that same interview, Trump signaled that he was open to reversing a $7,500 tax credit for Americans who purchase an electric vehicle. What an a-hole. White House car cleaner. Yeah, Secretary of Dead Bear Brainworms. The Biden administration has sought to incentivize the production and purchase of electric cars as part of its push to address climate change. Musk, who also owns the social media platform Twitter, endorsed Trump in the presidential race and backed the super PAC supporting the former president's bid. Trump and Musk held a 2-hour conversation on Twitter last week, during which the Tesla CEO signaled he would be willing to serve on a government commission to study the national debt and how Congress could reassess spending. The possibility of a cabinet position did not come up. But I think it would be great just to have a government efficiency commission that looks at these things to make sure the taxpayer money is spent in a good way, Musk told Trump. I'd be happy to help out on such a commission. Yeah, okay, dude. Whatever. Yeah, they're BFFs right now. This reminds me of when Trump said in 2023 that he would make Vince McMahon the head of his Olympic committee. Same dude who had Hulk Hogan at his RNC convention, so, yeah. Democrats attacked a Muslim woman for protesting Biden's speech. She's a Harris delegate. It's not just the uncommitted activists who are pushing Kamala Harris on Gaza policy. Her own delegates are speaking out. And mind you, the reaction is pretty abhorrent. Biden's administration policy towards Israel are not only coming from the uncommitted delegates, they're also coming from people trying to get Vice President Kamala Harris elected. On Monday, during President Biden's address to the Democratic Convention in Chicago, a Harris delegate was one of the several members of a Florida delegation who unfurled a banner that read, "Stop Arming Israel." Other members of the Florida delegation stood to block the banner, while some in the section and another section behind them started hitting the banner with people, and the people holding it with their own signs. So that's cool. A thing that happened, by the way. Hopefully, Kamala takes note of this, that her own delegate that pledged support to her is making these statements. And you know what? They should be heard. Because guess what? That's not going away. Actually, Hulk might have self-canceled after drunkenly at his grand opening of Hogan's Beer. He said some racist stuff. Yeah, apparently not the first time either. Speaking of brainworms, RFK Jr. expected to drop out of the race by the end of the week and plans to endorse Trump. Yeah, as if we, surprise Pikachu face, right? Independent, surprise Pikachu face, is going to end up endorsing the far right. Robert Kennedy Jr. is planning to drop out of the presidential race by the end of this week. Sources familiar with the decision tells ABC News. Sources tell ABC News that Kennedy plans to endorse President Trump, former President Trump, but when asked directly by ABC News if he will be endorsing the former president, Kennedy said, "I will not confirm or deny that." Okay. The long-lost member of the Rat Pack, no offense to Rats or Dean Martin. Quote, "We're not talking about any of that," he said. Sources cautioned the decision is not yet finalized and could still change, with one source adding Kennedy's hope is in part to finalize things quickly in order to blunt momentum from the DNC. Sure. Whatever, dude. Like, man, this was such an obvious sham from the beginning. He should have just ran as a Republican, okay? He should have just endorsed Trump, I should say, because, Trump was going to be the nominee. Everybody knew that. He should have just endorsed Trump from the beginning and just got the grift over with, right? He hung in there longer than Cenk, right? That's true. Probably because Kennedy's VP pick was Chris Chan has been arrested and Dead Beaver he found in his pool is ineligible. Did you see TYT is at the DNC? Yep. You mean Dead Bear, not Dead Beaver. They are at the DNC. I saw Hassan at the DNC too. There's a few people there. I think Cenk was there. Ayatollah. I can't pronounce his name. Ayatollah. I believe he was there too. Yeah, just say John. Yeah. Yeah, I'm never going to be able to pronounce his name. Idarola. But how do you pronounce it, though? It's pronounced Andorra? Gotcha. Yeah, John, Cenk. I don't think Anna was there. I'm never gonna get that right. John works for me. You got it right there for a minute. Okay. I couldn't resist. I mean, it's close, right? Idarola. Okay. I'll take it. I'm Dora. Idora. No, Idarola. All right, well, I'll take it. In any case, yeah, I think those two were the only ones there. I saw a clip. Where Hassan was talking. Was talking to Cenk. And Charlie Kirk came by. But yeah, they were there, or they are there, I should say. Not ball made done over. One possible scenario being discussed is for Kennedy to appear on stage with Trump at an event on Phoenix on Friday. Though the sources caution that Kennedy's thinking could always change, and sources close to Trump say no plan for Friday is finalized. Sure. Kennedy's campaign manager, Amaryllis Fox, emailed senior staff on Wednesday morning, thanking them for their hard work, but indicated a decision on the way forward has not been made. A source familiar with the email told ABC News. There are a couple of potential paths forward. Not only do I can bear witness to the care examination that Bobby has invested in consideration of each. Sure. A spokesperson for Kennedy posted on Twitter that Kennedy will address the nation live on Friday to discuss the path forward, but offered no specifics. A spokesperson for the Trump campaign did not immediately respond for requests for comment. Kennedy told ABC News regarding the DNC and Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris, "I think it's a coordination, not a democracy. Nobody voted. Who chose Kamala? It wasn't voters. The nation." Yeah. All 1% of his supporters. I still only watch John or Richie. Yeah. John's a good egg. Indisputable, it's good. Maybe Kennedy can fight Vance in the Thunderdome. There you go. He also complained about the way his campaign has been treated. She went in 4 weeks from being the worst liability for the Democratic Party to the second coming of Christ without giving one interview, without showing up for a debate, without a single policy that anyone thinks is ridiculous. He said, "This is not a democracy." Sure, whatever. Francesca also has a channel. Yeah, but hers is separate, right? She was the Bituation, right? Yeah, but she's on TYT a lot. Gotcha. This makes absolutely no sense. She went in 4 weeks from being the worst liability for the Democratic Party to being to the second coming of Christ. No, dude. Like, the worst liability 4 weeks ago for the Democratic Party was Joe Biden. This is absurd. The biggest political liability for the Democratic Party 4 weeks ago was Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., okay? Like, I don't know where he's getting this, but that is patently absurd. Patently absurd. In any case, I look forward to the grift coming full circle on Friday when he announces that he's going to be supporting Trump, okay? I like her even more after seeing the one video posted in the Discord. Yeah, she's great. She's great. She sometimes goes on the not often, but she goes on the Majority Report sometimes too. Chuck Schumer floats history, making votes on abortion and voting rights. Something that probably could have happened, a couple years ago, but here we are. Senate Majority Leader, she's become one of the semi-regular casual Friday guests on MR. Yes. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer single-handedly raised the stakes of the 2024 election on Tuesday, revealing that he'd consider carving out a rare exception to allow votes on protecting voting and abortion rights, meaning that they have the tools already to accomplish this. Should they have wanted to do this a couple of years ago. It's the most aggressive plan outlined by a Democratic leader on how the party would codify Roe v. Wade, but Schumer will need to avoid losing the Senate majority for the idea to pay off. His comments could also drive a split in his own caucus over blowing up the Senate's guardrails, which, by the way, Republicans will have absolutely no quarrel doing, by the way, if it benefits them. We saw what at the time Majority Leader McConnell was willing to do. Quad Bennett, RFK Jr. endorses Trump. We will find out on Friday, but it looks like it's a very real possibility. As I was saying earlier, the grift will come full circle. I look forward to reading about him endorsing Trump on Friday as he makes the speech to the nation of his 1% supporters. I saw Franny on Central Committee once. She's a patty. Schumer's plan would move the Senate closer to getting rid of the filibuster, a long-time rule that requires 60 votes instead of a simple 50 majority to advance legislation. Schumer said he has a chance at getting it done in 2025 because Kyrsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, who used to be Democrats, are leaving the Senate. Nice! Sinema and Manchin stood in the way of a similar attempt from Democrats 2 years ago on voting rights package. Ah, gotcha. Schumer pointed out, that's right, I remember. Yes, this is true. That's true. Schumer pointed out that Representative Ruben Gallego, running for Senate, supports this idea. Multiple Democratic sources told Axios that there were more than two Democrats privately opposed to the filibuster carve-out in 2022. If the same level of opposition continues, the sources said it could be heavier lift for Schumer to bypass the filibuster for abortion and voting rights than he thinks. Schumer seemed confident that he will keep his Senate majority. He'll need the Democratic Senate campaigns to overperform just to keep the 50-50 tie. Quote, our candidates are running even further ahead than we expected to at this point. Well, we'll see. We will see. I had some clips lined up, but I can't seem to find them. Maybe, Oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, I meant to actually talk about this, on Monday. But, this got kind of lost here. Let me bring it up.
Madam President, we will deport the foreign jihad sympathizers, and we will Madam President, we will deport the foreign jihad sympathizers, and we will deport them very quickly, and Hamas supporters will be gone.
Like, let me just stop right here. So what he means by that is anybody that he perceives to be a pro-Hamas supporter. So, for example, if you are protesting genocide, then you will be considered a pro-Hamas supporter. Deport them to where? He wants to kick them out of the country. The point being is that it's the rhetoric, right? Like political, like enemies of the state will be dealt with. If I get into power, enemies or perceived enemies of the nation will be dealt with. Whether or not that's legal or whether or not he can actually even accomplish this, because I don't think that there is. I don't think it's at this moment. It doesn't seem feasible, legally speaking. But the point being is that it's the rhetoric. It's the message that's behind it. I had to port you back to Iowa.
Hate America if you want to eliminate Israel. then we don't want you in our country. We really don't want you in our country. I will ban refugee settlements from terror-infested areas like the Gaza Strip, and we will arrest the pro-Hamas thugs who vandalize federal property and make really life very, very difficult in this country for a lot of people.
Yeah, so that's a very pretty explicit threat, right? Like if you're out there protesting, and you're a pro Palestine, anti-genocide protester, then like right to jail, you know, like that meme.
Now imagine you're holding coffee. This is outrageous. Where are the armed men who come in to take the protesters away? Where are they? This kind of behavior is never tolerated in Boracua.
Yeah,
You shout like that, they put
Trump
you in
right
jail.
here.
Right away. No trial, no nothing. Journalists, we have a special jail for journalists.
Trump is also saying child abusers and people trafficking, human traffickers will get the death penalty, but he's already planning on letting Maxwell have a pardon, probably because he knows all the secrets.
You're stealing, right to jail. You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail.
You're protesting genocide, jail. Right away.
You're charging too high prices for sweaters, glasses. You right to jail. You undercook fish, believe it or not, jail.
You protest for the right, for the rights of people to just be alive and not exterminated. Right to jail, right away. But yeah, this is pretty freaking disturbing. The fact that he's talking like this, and I'm sure, and I'm sure that, again, whether or not he has the actual capacity to do this is not the point. Wolfglen, welcome. Wait, is he saying he will deport native-born Americans? Yeah, like, he's saying that he wants to get rid of people, and whether or not he has the means to do so or where he's going to deport folks, I have no idea. Good luck bypassing the very First Amendment, Donald. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. But pretty freaking disturbing rhetoric coming from Donald Trump. Right, let me think. Reminders of 1930s Germany. Exactly. And like, obviously they can't deport them, because deport them to where? Oh, okay, well, if we can't deport them, we'll put them in prisons, right? You see where this, you see you see what you picking up what I'm throwing down? Well, if we can't deport them to where? We'll put them in prison. We'll put them in prison, call them terrorists, call them enemies of the state. And maybe we can make special exceptions for enemies of the state or people who have been arrested under pro-terror charges to, let's say, certain rights may be suspended if you are convicted on charges. Like, do you see where this could go? Not in good directions. Because I can definitely see him try something like this. All right, folks, we got one more. Especially overcooking chicken. Montana certifies abortion rights amendment for the November ballot. Folks, if you live in Montana also, man, there's quite a number of states that have these ballot initiatives. An initiative that proposes enshrining abortion access in Montana's constitution is set to appear on the state's November ballot after the state top election official approved it on Tuesday yesterday. Montana Secretary of State Christy Jacobson on Tuesday certified the ballot measure CI-128, which would amend the state's constitution to expressly provide a right to make and carry out decisions of one's own pregnancy, including the right to abortion, and bar the government from denying abortion access before fetal viability and when abortion is medically indicated to protect the pregnant patient's health. Montana is one of 9 states that will have measures expanding or protecting abortion and reproductive rights on the ballot this fall. Have an idea for a shirt that MAGA would never figure out. Organizers from Montanans Securing Reproductive Rights, led by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Montana, said in June that they had submitted 117 117,000 signatures from 56 counties in support of the amendment. It figured that exceeded the 60,300 necessary to move the process forward. Is Florida one of the states? Yes, it is. 45 needs an addition of 82. Wait, hold on. I'm not MAGA and I don't get it. Maybe I'm just too tired. It's a science reference. $82 is the atomic number. Oh, I was never gonna get that. Come on. I just saw the music they're going to play tonight at the DNC. And what are they playing? Stuff that we can't stream. That's what they're playing. After a review of those signatures, the group last month celebrated meeting the valid signature threshold needed to qualify for the November ballot. A Prince medley with John Legend and Stevie Wonder is going to perform. Nice. Well, is that already starting? The ballot measures have also faced a litany of legal challenges from Republicans in the solidly conservative state. Following the U.S. Supreme Court's reversal of Roe v. Wade, voters in several other GOP-leaning states have approved similar constitutional amendments codifying abortion access. Planned Parenthood advocates of Montana's President Martha Fuller lauded the amendment's ballot qualification in a statement Tuesday. Quote, Montana voters will finally have the opportunity to make their voices heard and protect reproductive rights in November. We could not have accomplished this incredible feat without the dedication of our volunteers and supporters who want to protect their freedom and constitutional right to make private medical decisions. While Montana is not competitive at the presidential level, having an abortion rights initiative on the ballot adds a new dynamic to a key Senate race between Jon Tester and Democratic incumbent, the Democratic incumbent and Republican Tim Sheehy. I don't know. So yeah, if you live in Montana and the 9 other states that are putting these up for the ballot, up to the ballot, pay attention, folks. This is definitely worth showing up to the ballot for. Oh, probably not until later. Gotcha. Someone should have hacked the music for the RNC and played Fire, Water, Burn as the main song because they all care about is making the U.S. burn. Ah! Exactly. Go Montana. I agree. I'm pretty happy that all these measures are going to be on the ballot because it's important, you know. All right, folks, it's time for me to go get some food. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Thank you all for stopping by. Thank you all for your support. You guys are what makes this channel grow. Thank you, guys. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to hit the follow button if you haven't done so. For those of you on the YouTube, keep liking the stream. I see you guys. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Consider checking out the merch store. We got some cool stuff there. And this is the latest test that I've been making. Behind me is that sweater. I will be adjusting it and putting it on the merch store soon. But yeah, everything looks pretty freaking awesome to me. And I'm very proud of it, so consider checking that out if you want to support the channel in different ways. Thank you all for stopping by. Thank you, Heat, for modding the chat. Thank you, Michael Hassler, for modding the chat. Thank you all. I appreciate it. And as I was saying earlier, by the way, since Twitch is, kind of making their sub prices higher, as Michael Hassler just put there, tipping your streamer directly, you can do so if you want to support that way. What is the song played at the end? You mean the song played at the end of this stream? It's actually one of my friend's songs. It's a band that belonged to one of my friends, and I actually played for them. I actually played for them a couple years ago. They're called The Underdogs. They're called The Underdogs. It's great. Thank you. I personally love that song. It's called Metro. Metro from The Underdogs. All right, folks. I gotta get out of here. Thank you all for stopping by, and I appreciate that, Kamikazeon. Because while it was short, I did play with them, and it was awesome. I truly enjoyed playing, especially this song. Thank you all for stopping by. We'll be back tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Thank you all. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I need to remember that. Yeah, it's pretty cool. See ya. right, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.